last month, June, was the 25th anniversary of Golden Axe in the arcades. Mm-hmm. Did you guys all play Golden Axe back in the day?
Not only did I play Golden Axe back in the day, I played Golden Axe on Sunday at California Extreme, which is a big arcade convention here in California.
Golden Axe was a big deal to me and my friends when we were kids, because so 1989, I think was also the year that the Sega Genesis came out. So it was like a turning point, 16-bit graphics, and we just felt like things were getting more intense and cool. We were moving on from the NES, and it was like, this is one of the showcase games, this and Alter Beast, both designed by the same guy. He followed up Alter Beast with Golden Axe, and we were just like, oh man, this game is awesome.
Yeah, so it's like there was always arcade games and action games on the NES, but not in the way that you would think about action games today. But then the Sega Genesis dropped and arcade games improved, and I guess there was stuff like Contra on the NES, so maybe I'm totally, but...
Well, it was part of this really awesome era of sprites suddenly were half the screen. You know, and we didn't get
they were
that.
Giant, yeah.
I mean, Mario was so small when we played as kids, and Kirby and stuff like that. But playing Ninja Turtles and playing X-Men and playing Golden Axe and stuff, like these characters were huge, and you could play with your friends. So it had this awesome co-op element. But it also there were like you're getting beat up and you had low health, and there would just be like one thing that everyone had to fight over. It was just like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I need the meat. And you'd be like, no, I'm taking it. You don't need it. You have a full health bar. And I love that. It was such this awesome balance of co-op and competitive play that was just really wonderful to see.
So in honor of its 25th anniversary, I've compiled 10 Golden Axe fun facts that you guys may not know that I'm going to share with you here. Number one, this is the main character. Well, there's 3 playable characters. This gentleman here, do we have a better picture, Ariski, in there? I think we've got one that we can pull up here. Hopefully a full shot of him. I want to know if you know this gentleman's name.
Lance Bigums.
Thong McBeefcake.
His name is actually Axe Battler.
Whoa!
He doesn't carry an axe.
That's still, but maybe he battles dudes.
That's what I thought. Maybe he got his name because he fights people that carry axes.
Like
the main bad guy is Death Adder, right? And he carries a giant golden axe.
Were they sending this game to stores and someone was like, you got 2 minutes to name the main character?
Axe Battler.
Why? So his first name is Axe?
Yep. Last name Battler.
He was born for this.
Mr. Battler, your table is ready. There are a bunch of bad ports of Golden Axe in the Master System port. So everyone played it on Sega Genesis, but they also ported it to the older Master System. And the Master System port, Axe Battler, here it is. He was the only playable character. The other two, the girl and the dwarf, were not in the game.
They're just like, nah.
Nope.
Get out of here.
This was it's so funny that we see this now, especially after we just had that Watchdog conversation about last gen ports. Like this has been going on for decades.
This is not a new thing.
Yeah, that's not even a port. That's just a demake.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it was always a fight if you had to play as the girl anyway. And they were all pretty balanced and fine.
The girl had the best magic of it.
I know, but she was totally fine to play as, but you would still, your honor meant that you wanted to play as.
Hated those guys.
I've always liked to play as girls.
I love how they basically have those guys in Diablo 3.
The animation here is really bad, but actually, whenever I see Master System games, they look better than I thought they did. I thought the Master System games looked worse than this. Yeah. So
the animation is atrocious.
Yeah. It's really bad. Okay, fun fact number 2. It was not originally called Golden Axe. It was originally called Battle Axe.
And Axe Battler, starring Axe Battler.
Battle Axe, starring Axe Battler, but they had to change the name for licensing reasons. Something else, it was too close to something else called Battle Axe. Then they changed the name to Broad Axe, and that's what it was going to be. But towards the end of development, the president of Sega US noticed that the dwarf's axe had a golden color. He suggested they should call it Golden Axe, and actually said he wouldn't sell it in the US unless they changed it.
That's awesome.
They should have called it Bad Axe.
So they didn't want to change it first.
That's a really good idea.
This game is totally badass.
I mean, it's hard.
So they changed it, and then Death Adder, the final boss's axe, was silver. They changed it to gold to accommodate the new Golden Axe name.
What an awesome job it was to be president of Sega.
I'm not going to sell this game Broad Axe.
I noticed there's a Golden Axe in your game.
We shall
I've got a title.
Golden Axe, and then it just changed everything.
That's not the game we've been making.
You guys heard about when they were making Pac-Man, and the president of Namco or whatever at the time was just like, I think all the ghosts should be red. And they're like, no, please no.
Why?
And they did a poll around the office, and everyone was like, no, make them all different colors. And she's like, all right, I resign.
In disgrace, because that was Japan.
It was mad with power.
Yeah.
All right, Golden Axe, fun fact number 3. The designer had just come off making Alter Beast. at the time, Double Dragon was a big hit in the arcade. So the challenge to them was like, we need to like make a Double Dragon style game. But they didn't want to directly copy it. Double Dragon, there were weapons in the game, but not everyone had weapons. So one thing to make it different from Double Dragon, the designer was like, everyone will have a weapon in Golden Axe. And all the enemies and playable characters do carry a weapon.
Yeah, I guess I've never even really thought about it.
He was also really into Dragon Quest. So he's like, can we take Double Dragon and Dragon Quest to make this medieval brawler?
Yes.
I nailed it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The weapons in Double Dragon were always weird because you'd have a nunchuck that you got from some woman that you beat up.
But you can only like swing it 3 times.
And then it would just disappear from your hand. Your hand would just, it's gone.
It would often just like fly away.
Yeah.
It's coated in butter.
Fun fact number 4. In the arcades, the Japanese version of the arcade had a different intro that was censored from the US release. And I think we have it here. So here's the intro from the original Japanese game.
That random splatter of blood.
Yeah.
It had this little bit.
Whoa! Wow, that got intense really fast.
For those listening at home, Axe Battler beheads an enemy, and the head flies toward the screen.
That was awesome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That's really cool.
I had never seen that.
I wish that happened like during the game.
I know, yeah. Thought that was really, really cool.
Wow.
Right?
How did they even like do that? Like it all like flew at you?
They used all of the graphics for the game at the same time.
Fun fact number 5. Golden Axe may take place in the same universe as Altered Beast. Or Alex Kidd.
What?
There's some connections here. So first of all, there's an enemy in Golden Axe called Chicken Leg. It's one of your mounts. It's this guy here that we've got a photo of. Those guys, they're called Chicken Leg.
All right.
Now, here's a screenshot from Altered Beast. One of the enemies that you fight in Altered Beast is also Chicken Leg. But there's more.
But you don't write them.
In the intro, when you first start a game in Golden Axe,
That was a really weird scene, by the way. It's just like a naked man and chicken leg in a pond.
Can we bring that back up for a second?
Can we take a look at that?
Yeah. Can we go back to Altered Beast screen here? We want to comment. I know you're probably pulling up the.
Look how small his head is.
Yeah, he's got a really tiny.
Look at his
What is
tiny
going
head.
on here? This is like a weird
This needs
first
speech
date. He's naked, right? Or he's just got underwears?
And the underwear is pink, so you can barely see it. But it looks like his hand is just.
This is also weird.
If you were to turn him to face you, his chest would be all deformed. Like
Plus, he'd be like 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
And what is the background?
You're
in a
swamp.
cave.
It looks like he's crawling up somebody's nose.
I think he's on Dagobah, actually.
It looks like somebody's house the night before Halloween that somebody put silly string and toilet paper all over.
All right, so Chicken Leg is in both games. So now let's pull up that intro to Golden Axe. Golden Axe opens up with you encountering your friend Alex, who has been attacked. And Alex tells you to revenge him, which isn't a thing.
Well,
Revengeance.
close.
Yeah. And then Alex passes away.
Now.
Revenge them from your friend Alex. Alex dies.
And he dies.
Yeah. Now if we pull up this screen from Alter Beast,
He straight up tossed that dude.
you can see a gravestone in the background of Alter Beast. It's Alex's gravestone.
What?
So Golden Axe takes place in medieval times.
So Golden Axe is the prequel
in like
to Alter Beast.
Greco-Roman times.
Yeah.
But so that should have happened before.
Right.
But Alex's gravestone is in Alter Beast.
It doesn't Alex Kidd take...
Where area am? Sorry. You don't have that image. The image doesn't work.
Okay, that image doesn't work.
Sorry, guys.
Take my word for it. Alex, there's a gravestone in Alter Beast that says Alex, and there's also Alex Kidd. So maybe they just liked using the Alex name in a bunch of their different
Wasn't
games.
Alex Kidd a modern game?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Well, whatever that time period
Alex
was.
Kidd
It took
in
place
Wonderland or Monsterland? Like,
I guess so.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. This is probably, just take a moment, this is probably very stressful for Aransky, by the way.
it's okay.
Pulling up all the images, trying to...
You know, we've never done this on GameScoop. We should probably take a moment to thank Aransky and
Thanks,
Josh
Aransky.
for handling all of our B-roll in there and for setting up our shots. Thanks, Aransky and
He's
Josh.
a wonderful guy. If you've never seen him, he's got a beard, he's got a hat. He looks like one of those dudes in like an 80s movie that works at a newspaper stand when something
Yeah, he
bad
looks like
happens.
a kid that's selling newspapers that then grew up.
Yeah. My favorite.
Extra, extra, Batman saves Gotham.
I love you, Aransky.
All right, Golden Axe fun fact number 6. There are 3 playable characters, but it's only a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was always weird. They did that with Final Fight also, and I think Streets of Rage as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It's always weird when that
They
happens.
did consider making it a 3-player game, but their engine could only handle 6 characters on screen. So if we make it for 3 players, then there can only be 3 enemies on screen.
Everyone has someone to beat up.
Yeah. So
Did the other characters? Maybe we're gonna get to this. Did they have crazy names like Axe Battler? Like what was
they're
the
more
dwarf's
like
name?
Galvius and like
So they got proper.
Tyrion.
proper
They weren't similar to Axe Battler. So only 6 players on screen, but Golden Axe was unique in the time that the defeated enemies all remained on screen. They didn't like flash and disappear. They stayed.
Did we talk about this on GameScoop where Double Dragon on the NES can only have 2 enemies on screen at once ever?
And
I played that game.
And could only
never noticed that.
It could only be the same enemy.
Yeah, and
so you're only fighting twins at any time in that game.
And
I
played-
never noticed
I never noticed that either.
I played that game for I don't even know how many hours.
Double Dragon.
50 hours.
Which version? Which
On the NES.
NES,
Okay.
which was also a single player game.
And like then once I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, you'd fight like the 2 thugs and then the 2
There's
chicks.
2 abobos.
And then 2 abobos.
I remember that back in the day, you would get an NES game and it would say 2 players on the back of it, and you'd start it up and you'd go to 2 player and there would only be you, and then you'd die, and then your brother would start the game,
Now
and
it's
it would
the second player's turn.
yeah, and he would have to play. You'd have to watch him play the same level you just died on.
I must have been playing the SNES version because I remember enemy mixes in that game.
All right. Are you ready for this one? This is Golden Axe fun fact number 7.
Lay it on us.
Did you guys ever beat the game in the arcades?
No.
So you've never seen the ending to Golden Axe.
I want to say I have.
Let's roll the ending to Golden Axe in the arcades, because when you defeat the game, the camera pans out to show you playing a game called Great Axe, and the enemies jump out of the arcade machine
And murder
and then
you.
start running off through the town.
Wow, did you die?
You know what, I
You
have-
ran. No,
That's awesome.
You know what? I have seen this.
That's
I may have
insane.
beaten that
And then the
game.
heroes jump out to chase after them, and then they all go running through the streets of the city.
Wow. So they're not
Here's the thing.
concerned about what they're seeing.
They're running
right
out
now?
of video game doi doi. Past a Hokari Sweat sign, which is a play. There's a sports drink in Japan called Pokari Sweat, and then past a sign that's called Haga with the Sega logo.
Yeah.
There they go. They jumped out of the game. They're in real life now.
There is, as Altano was fond to say, there is a lot to unpack
Right?
in this ending.
It's insane.
I never knew because I never beat it in the arcades.
No. And like, so nobody, so first of all, they're in the future, but they're not, like, the heroes are like, whatever, man. They're single-minded. They got to chase down the chicken leg.
Yep.
They got to get them.
I mean, isn't that basically the plot of He-Man the movie?
Yeah.
They're setting up
With
a
Dolph
sequel.
Lundgren?
They're
Yeah.
setting up a sequel that never happened. And also, that means it's a bad ending, right? Like, the bad guys have escaped into the modern world.
Well, yeah. So it's too bad they didn't make a sequel where that takes place in modern times,
yeah.
but with the same characters.
Yes.
There
I
could be
wanted-
cars driving by.
I wanted to see the guy that owns the arcade walk into that room and just start crying. He's like, "Oh, my arcade!"
The owner of video game Doi Doi.
Mr. Doy.
Mr. Toy Toy.
All right. So after that scene, this is fun
It's
fact.
Axe Doy Doy to you.
Fun fact number 8. The credits are bizarre because they show each character of the game, and then they provide stats like their height and weight. They give you their name and then the height and weight of each character. All the enemies, yeah. The height and weight of each character, except for the female playable character, Tyrus Flair, her weight is a mystery. Because she's a lady.
You don't ask.
And ladies don't like to, you don't ask the lady how much she
All right, I want to point something out. Axe Battler is 5'10" and 200 pounds. I am 6 feet and 195 pounds.
Yeah.
We have very different bodies. Very different bodies.
Yep.
Tyrus Flair and Gilius Thunderhead is the name of the...
He's 5'3". That's not that bad.
That's barely
That's
a door.
barely a dwarf.
That's not even. That's a really tall dwarf.
Yeah.
That's just a short man at
I think
that
my
point.
wife's 5'3".
That's not like Dinklage.
No.
If you beat Destiny, you can find out Peter Dinklage's height.
Yep.
It's in his stats.
All right, number 9. There were a couple Golden Axe spin-offs that were Zelda clones.
I did not
For the Master System, there was Golden Axe Warrior, which was an action RPG Zelda clone.
Oh, I played that.
Really?
Yes, I did play that.
Do you have a Master System? How'd you play that? This is it. Wait, no.
So
Is this it? Yeah. Well, I
This-
hope this is it. Yeah.
This might be
I believe this also came to Game
Dragon
Gear.
Quest.
No, this is
Okay.
Golden Axe Warrior. Actually, this isn't. I think he might be showing the footage for the other game. I think he might have had the wrong reroll for the next game, which is Axe Battler: A Legend of Golden Axe for Game Gear. That was his clone of Zelda 2, where it had the top-down view of the.
there it is.
No, see,
This I played.
See this. He has the B-roll backwards.
Okay.
I rescind my thank
We
you to
take
Josh.
back everything we said nice about
This
you.
is the Zelda clone,
is
Golden
the
Axe
Zelda
Warrior
one.
for the Master System. which is so obviously a
Yeah.
Zelda clone.
Yeah.
This
Even
looks
down
fun.
on the map.
I would play this.
I think this is the final boss.
I have never
move a lot
heard of
faster.
this game.
But
This
I'll
looks
tell you,
awesome.
Very fast.
You played this game?
I did not play this.
Anyway.
I'm almost positive I played this game.
It looks awesome.
Then the other game is Axe Battler, A Legend of Golden Axe. It's like Link's Adventure clone for Game Gear that has the top-down view of world exploration, and then when you went into battles, it flipped to the side.
wow.
the
See,
2D side
this one I
scroll.
remember.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How did somebody look at Golden Axe and say, "Hey, this is a rich universe. We should expand it."
I know.
This kind
Well,
of
they
game."
wanted they're just thinking, God, Zelda's so big. What
story
can we do? Well, we have this medieval.
We got that fantasy franchise.
medieval
The
hack and
story of
slash
Axe Battler needs to be told.
And finally, did you guys know that there was a one-on-one Golden Axe fighting game
No.
released in arcades and on Sega Saturn, I believe?
That makes more sense.
It's called Golden Axe The Duel. One-on-one fighting game released
Oh my
in
god.
1994.
These character
Starring-
animations are awesome.
It doesn't have any of the original characters. You play as relatives of the original characters
Why?
throughout time. So that way you can have like a ninja, and the ninja is like a
Sure.
distant relative of the female
Like, all
character.
right, I
yeah.
can get behind
How
like
much
that
does she
conceit,
weigh?
but why would you not include the original?
Yeah.
Like, you have the most tenuous connection to this classic franchise, and then you don't include the characters that people knew and loved?
Yeah,
That's weird.
Anyway, that's why nobody remembers this game.
This looks awesome.
I think it was a competent fighter. It was
Yeah.
like fine. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
it
looks
wasn't
good.
great.
I mean, it looks
A
fine.
lot of modern gamers won't understand why this happened, but at one point in the 90s, everything was a fighting game.
Yep.
Everyone made a fighting game. You went to the arcades, there were hundreds of fighting games, most
Yep.
of which you would never see again. Every time you go, there'd be 10 new ones and 10 old ones would disappear.
Yeah, there was a Double Dragon one-on-one fighting game too.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Anyway, there you have it.
Mega Man
10
Incredible.
Golden Axe fun facts.
I'm really fascinated by the notion of showing completely random stats when you finish.
I
a
know.
game. Like there was really no style guide for endings back then.
Maybe a Japanese thing.
Do whatever
'cause,
you
like,
want.
Yeah.
in their culture, blood type is a thing.
Yeah.
Like on identifying like on your Facebook profile or something, it'll be like I'm so and so. I do this for a living, and my blood type is something like that's like an important thing like that tells you something about somebody.
So weird.
So, Damon, why did we not call
Different than us.
this? Why did we not call this segment Golden Facts?
That's really good. I'll use that for the headline.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll use that for the headline. It's really good. How are we on time? What time is it right now? You even have a time? What time is it, Altana?
We're good.
No, I want to know what time it is.
It is
Good o'clock.
12:45.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we're actually good. We're running a little bit over time today. That's all the scoops we have for this week. Next week, I have something special for you planned. We're going to be in Comic-Con, but I have planned a special game scoop that I need to get you in the recording room to do today.
Yes.
Right? We're talking
Yep.
about that. So we'll still have game scoop next week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Brian. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. My name is Damon. This is IGN Game Scoop. It's lunchtime, and we're out.